Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and the Illuminati in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is confirmed to have a mystery seventh member due to an open seat on that Illuminati dais that did not belong to 838 Stephen Strange. 838 Stephen's Sorcerer Supreme seat went to Mordo, third from the left. Mordo replaced 838 Strange on that panel after the other members of the Illuminati executed Stephen, which then opened up that seat for Sorcerer Supreme Mordo. And now this has been confirmed by the movie's screenwriter, who hinted that the open seventh seat's occupant remains something of a mystery to the 838 universe. A mystery that, if you look at the comics that most influenced the development of this movie's Illuminati sequence, and by looking ahead at Marvel's narrative plan, we may be able to deduce who this seat belongs to and why it is empty for this trial. And thanks to Truebill for sponsoring today's video. More about them later. Okay, just to clarify again why this open seventh seat does not belong to 838 Stephen Strange, the Illuminati is an assembly of representatives of the various factions of superheroes. It's not a who's who of the most powerful, or just a groupings of superheroes and their friends. It is specifically leaders of each faction. We have one and only one seat for sorcerers, one seat for the mutants, one seat for the Avengers, one seat for the Inhumans, one seat for Atlantis, and one seat for the Fantastic Four. Now, initially in the comics, T'Challa, leader of Wakanda, was invited, but ended up turning them down. And this scene in Multiverse of Madness shows the 838 Illuminati operates under the same rule. Mordo introduces each member with the body of superhero-dom that they represent. Baron Karl Mordo, Sorcerer Supreme, Sorcerers, check. Captain Carter, the first Avenger, Avengers, check. Blackagar Boltagon, Inhuman King, Inhumans, check. Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Defender of the Cosmos, Marvel Cosmic, check. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, check. And Professor Charles Xavier, Mutants, check. It would not make sense for a 7-member Illuminati to have 2 sorcerers on it. Furthermore, Mordo was clearly not present with the Illuminati in that Titan flashback as they executed Strange. So Mordo did not join that panel until after the position of Sorcerer Supreme opened up. These arguments that the Illuminati might leave the 7th seat open to honor 838 Strange also don't really make sense, because they clearly stated they only put up that statue outside as a public display to mythologize that Strange as a martyr, which was a lie that they clearly feel guilty about. In private, they actually still feel betrayed by their friend. So they definitely would not keep an open seat in that room to honor him in this private chamber. Now, 838 Strange founded this group, so it does make sense that his seat would be at the center, where Mordo now sits. This empty 7th seat is all the way at the end, which makes far more sense as a seat left open for a rogue 7th member, someone still alive, representing a different faction of the 838 world, someone they hope might join them for a meeting someday. Now, screenwriter Michael Waldron was asked about this open seat by The Hollywood Reporter, and he confirmed it was something they talked a lot about. He made a joke about the set decorator accidentally setting out too many chairs, and then when the interviewer was like, no, seriously, and followed up, Waldron indicated that they do have an answer in mind, but wanted to leave it open-ended for now. And again, if the answer was as simple as, well, it was just 838 Stephen's chair, Waldron would have said so. Clearly, there is another 838 hero out there, someone who they talked about, someone whom Waldron considers it above his pay grade to reveal. So let's break down the likeliest suspects. If we go by the Illuminati in the comics, we should start with Iron Man Tony Stark. You could look at the Ultron sentries of the Baxter Foundation and conclude that there must be a Tony Stark of this universe, because in 616 it was Tony who created Ultron. Also back in Iron Man 2, 616 Tony had a file on his phone labeled Illuminati. So you could conclude from that many Tonys across many universes would have some Illuminati-esque ambitions. However, 838 is definitely a Marvel Elseworld, and in the Age of Ultron comics, it was actually Hank Pym who invented Ultron. While these Ultron sentries look just as they do in Age of Ultron, really the look of Ultron in the MCU is based on the comics. So either way, it's just kind of hard to use these sentries as evidence of who created them. If anything, it seems like Reed Richards and his team of technicians were the source of the technological innovations of this reality. Waldron has confirmed in other interviews that the rumors that Tom Cruise might be playing a superior Iron Man in this movie were not true. Cruise never shot anything for this movie, he was never even approached. But Captain Carter's look is very similar to Peggy in What If, and that Peggy was given her Union Jack shield by Howard Stark. So it's at least likely that some Stark family exists in 838. Really, the arguments against Tony being that 7th member of the Illuminati is that his role has already been filled by other members. Because in the comics, Tony represents the Avengers, and he's the one who formed the group. But in 838, the Avengers seat is occupied by Captain Carter, and it was 838 Stephen Strange who formed the group. Now, if you're hoping for a multiversal version of yourself that's better with money, will jump through a portal to help you sort your finances out, our friends at Truebill are here to help with a more realistic solution. Truebill is an all-in-one finance personalized platform that helps you save more and spend less. Through the app, you can track your expenses, manage subscriptions, lower your bills, and build your savings all in one place. I really like how easy Truebill makes it to safely and securely identify recurring charges and cancel unwanted subscriptions with just a tap. It's also got some nice credit score monitoring tools to give you a little nudge when something unusual might be happening. It won't alert you if a multiversal version of you is trying to steal your identity, but it will help with lots of other stuff. Truebill can also help you create a custom budget that automatically monitors your spending by category, such as dining out or entertainment. They'll send you friendly notifications when you've exceeded your budget, and you can even visualize your spend to earn ratio in the app. Get started with Truebill today by heading to truebill.com/newrockstars or by clicking the link in the video description. That's truebill.com/newrockstars. So let's look at another original Illuminati member in the comics, Namor, the Submariner, ruler of Atlantis. Actually, at many points in this movie, it seemed like Namor might pop up. Strange in America passed through an ocean world, and then later, a post-incursion reality shows the sea flooding Manhattan, as if part of that war might have involved a Namor flooding the coastline. The squid monster they fight was actually confirmed by Merch to be named Gargantos, who is a Namor villain. Waldron was actually asked by Namor by Variety, and he said that Namor was someone they talked about, but that Marvel has other plans for him in the MCU. Maybe even the same occupant of that 7th seat that Waldron and his team talked about. So what would Marvel's plans for Namor be? Well, there were some rumors last year that Marvel had cast Narcos actor Tenoch Huerta as Namor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but that was never confirmed. Atlantis and Wakanda do have a pretty fierce rivalry in the comics, and that's a big reason why T'Challa resists joining the Illuminati to begin with. And when I look at that 7th seat and wonder, well, what faction of the Marvel world is still left unrepresented, I would think one of their other independent kingdoms of Earth, Atlantis or Wakanda. Which brings me to the option I think actually might be likeliest and explain why the seat was left empty in this movie, T'Challa, the Black Panther. Waldron confirmed in interviews that when he drafted this version of the Illuminati, he drew primarily on the comics run by Jonathan Hickman that I mentioned in my last video, 2013's New Avengers Incursions event, which opens with T'Challa witnessing a red alternate Earth in the sky over Wakanda and then begrudgingly reassembles the Illuminati. T'Challa is the point of view focal character that brings us into these incursions. And when we go into the post-incursion reality of this movie, what do we see in the sky? A giant red planet. Therefore, I think that 7th seat might actually belong to the one member of the Illuminati historically hesitant to join the 6 others, but one that they would always leave one seat open for, T'Challa. Maybe even in this movie, they considered a masked variant of T'Challa, but ultimately decided that they didn't want to step on any toes of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is still set to release later this year. I mean, of course, folks, the options are endless. Hank Pym, maybe 838 Vision. He'd be an interesting option because we confirmed that he is alive in this reality, but Elizabeth Olsen suggested he is divorced from 838 Wanda. I would suggest an Asgardian or some other extraterrestrial, maybe 838 Thor, 838 Valkyrie, 838 Jane Foster Thor, but Captain Marvel is there as a defender of the cosmos, so everything off-world is covered. Maybe 838 Kang, but Nathaniel Richards, descendant of Reed Richards, House of Richards is already represented here. Truly, I think the likeliest options are one of the 3 likely options that we saw in the pages of the comics this is based on. Tony Stark, or Namor, or T'Challa, each of whom have a reason to be on that Illuminati panel, but each of them also having their own set of complications with revealing them ahead of upcoming MCU titles. So let me know who you think is in that 7th seat, except if you still think it is 838 Strange, because you are wrong. You can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options over at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.